Shane Tamura did not drive 2,500 miles from his home to pick a random building. He chose Park Avenue, Manhattan, one of the densest clusters of corporate and financial power in the world. People need to understand why this matters and why attacks keep coming back to this part of New York. Park Avenue is Manhattan's financial core. It's home to JP Morgan, Citibank, BlackRock, and countless other hedge funds and consultants. 345 Park Avenue itself is Blackstone, KPMG, and the NFL's corporate office, plus Rudin, the billionaire real estate dynasty that owns the tower. From the 1993 trade bombing to the 9/11 attack, Manhattan's core is the global symbol of capitalism, the heart of the American financial order. Tamura was 27 years old and lived with his parents in a broken housing market. His job was a security guard in a casino. You do not drive from Las Vegas to New York to complain about the NFL. You don't have to leave Las Vegas to target the NFL. All that's in New York is their corporate office. If the NFL is your target, Park Avenue is not. If football is the problem, there's easier and more optic ways to strike them. Park Avenue houses multiple pillars of late-stage capitalism. There's private equity in that building. You've got big four accountants. This is the property-owning class. For somebody watching that system from a bottom rung in a casino surveillance booth, seeing his community and his family and their lives be destroyed by private equity, you know that New York is the geographic center of the machine. The NFL owns and operates high-profile stadiums across the United States. Games, especially televised ones, are symbolic hubs for the sport. If an attacker really is grieved at the NFL, they're more likely to want to aim for a live game, an audience, or stadium headquarters, because that's where the players and the staffs and the executives exist and are far more concentrated. He could also save himself on petrol. Draft events occur frequently in Las Vegas. The NFL have a corporate office in Park Avenue, but they also have major operational and media hubs in Los Angeles and New Jersey that are way more symbolic to target the NFL than a random Manhattan skyscraper. Practice facilities, team offices, even training camps are far more spread out and way less secure than a Manhattan skyscraper. Park Avenue is a financial district, not a sports arena. This man was from Las Vegas. Las Vegas hosts the NFL draft. If he went to Los Angeles, the NFL's entire West Coast operation is based in Inglewood. There he could have hit the NFL Network, NFL.com, and most of their production staff. That's only 4 hours from where he was. Far closer than Manhattan. The New York office is the corporate address. It's where the league's lawyers and executives and finance teams sit. And it's where Blackstone and KPMG and Rudin sit. Going to Manhattan is choosing the most symbolic financial target, not the most football target. If Tamura wanted to hit the NFL, he did not need to travel that far. Driving across the country and going into a building that is dominated by financiers and real estate investors, but has one small finance office belong to the NFL, indicates economic and class-driven anger, not a sports grievance. The only explanation or motive that the authorities have been able to give as to why Tamura would target the NFL comes from the note, the NYPD note, that said he got a brain injury playing high school football. The note says, it references Terry Long, a former NFL player who drank antifreeze, and wrote, "You can't go against the NFL, they'll squash you." Accused the league of concealing the dangers to our brains to maximize profits, listed brain researchers and journalists who exposed the NFL's concussion scandals, asked for his brain to be studied. Beyond that note, which I believe the NYPD wrote, there's no mention. This man did not play football after he left high school in 2015. He did not have a medical record of concussion. He had never sought medical treatment for this. He was not in contact with the NFL. The whole motive being presented here as to why someone would drive across a continent armed to the teeth is that he played high school football 10 years ago and got an injury and believes that the NFL cover up the risks. No. Tamura killed Wesley LePatner, She's a Blackstone CEO. Blackstone are a real estate firm valued at $53 billion, and they are responsible for mass evictions and rent hikes across the United States. That points at a strong motive for class anger. And if the public focused on that, it might spark scrutiny of private equity, of corporate landlordism. But by attributing this to brain damage, the conversation moves away from, wait, who's Blackstone? Towards individual pathology. Don't look at the system. There are communication and framing clues in the note itself. It reads, I am a media expert with 10 years experience. That note was drafted for media digestion. The League knowingly concealed the dangers to our brains to maximize profits. Echoes legal filings and documentaries. That is not the way a distressed 27-year-old with no formal third-level education would typically write. Listing researchers and journalists and thanking a frontline documentary feels scripted to anchor this story in an existing NFL CTE narrative, something the public already recognizes. The stationery used photographs well and visually reinforces a troubled, sympathetic image for TV coverage. There's no personal detail. There's no mention of his actual struggles. I'm sure his housing and his finance and his job security were concerns to him. Everything about this media campaign has been built to direct the audience attention away from systemic issues and class action. And the note was plugged within hours directly into existing media pipelines. AP, Reuters, CNN, CBS, Fox News, all quoting the same phrases. CTE, study my brain, and the League conceal the dangers. That gives anchors and writers ready-made sound bites that bypass critical thinking and don't need investigation. And it supplies the tragic grievance hook to avoid looking at the uncomfortable fact that the only major executive killed was a housing fund CEO. The city and corporate partners have every incentive to prevent this from becoming a story about economic warfare. The NYPD already collaborates with security teams like Blackstone's, and they depend on political support from the elite circles in Manhattan. Providing a pre-written or edited note ensures that the preferred narrative dominates. The American media are desperate to keep this story contained to one individual and their mental health instead of looking at the systemic challenges. And the speed and uniformity of the dissemination of these materials show us that they were intended to be consumed, not discovered. It slots neatly into a ready-made news cycle about the NFL and brain injury, and that protects Blackstone and the Midtown financial elites from public anger. Don't let them.